Welcome to Cardboard Conjecture. We're a podcast about board games where we have opinions and conclusions formed on the basis of incomplete information. This episode of Cardboard Conjecture is brought to you by these great Saskatoon businesses: Amazing Stories Comics on 8th Street, Dragon's Den Games on 8th Street, and Breakout Escape Rooms on Faithful Avenue. Welcome to Cardboard Conjecture. I'm your host, Norm.
And I'm Ryan.
And on this episode, we're going to banter about some board games. We're going to talk about some news. And Ryan, what's so special about this episode?
I don't know, Norm.
Perhaps it's episode 100.
Cardboard Conjecture is proudly sponsored by Amazing Stories Comics on 8th Street in Saskatoon. They're the winner of the Joe Shuster Award for Best Comic Book Store in Canada, and they were also nominated in 2016 for the U.S. Eisner Spirit of Comics Retailer Award presented at Comic-Con. Amazing Stories' amazing collection of comic books, board games, puzzles, and collectibles can be found in their store or on their new online website. And we're back. This is Cardboard Conjecture, going straight into some banter. And Ryan.
Norm, slow down and enjoy the moment that this is episode number 100.
It's 100. I can't believe we got to 100.
How the hell did we get here?
I don't know. This is about, as far as achievements go, this is about the geekiest achievement that I can peg up there. So, and I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of it.
My wife shared no excitement with me as I we're recording episode number 100 tonight, and she's like, "Yeah, okay,
I'll
whatever."
I'll mimic what my wife did. I said, "Honey, did you see on the calendar? Podcasting tonight? Yep. You see, we're doing episode 100." And she was reading a book in her phone and went, "Uh-huh." It's like, okay,
here we go.
Thank you for that enthusiasm. I'm going to ride that wave all night, babe.
So, Norm.
Yes, Ryan.
What's your game you want to talk about on episode 100?
I want to talk about all of them, but I do want to talk about what I played just the other day is Red Rising, and that is a Stonemaier game, and from what I've read and what you've also told me, that it's kind of a passion project for him and that IP. Now, I've not read Red Rising, the series, but this is it's a card game. Deck building, maybe. I don't know what you would definitively classify it. It says card drafting, yes. There's some dice rolling, but that's just because of a certain choice that you make. But you're basically picking up you're basically playing a card down to one of four factions that has resources attached to it, and then you're picking up a card. Now, when you play down a card, you're playing the card's intuitive power or action. And then when you pick up a card is when you get the resource. And it's a clever Euro track, 4-track kind of thing. Well, not 3 tracks, because one of them is having the alliance or the big eagle marker. Mm-hmm. Now, I've played, and now even Jamie Stegmaier goes on to say that it wasn't until he played, is it Fantasy Realms? Yes. When he played Fantasy Realms, he finally clicked in on the mechanism that this game required, because in his designer's notes, he says that it was a pursuit of about 4 to 5 years for this project to come to fruition. And now I've not played Fantasy Realms. I think you've picked it up, but and there's another version that we've of this mechanism that we played, which Xeriscape, which was Chris's game that he showed us on Tabletop Simulator, and just that whole idea of playing down, picking up, and having something happen, and when you pick up, something else happens. I really liked Chris's game because his theme was, xeriscape gardening, which is low, kind of more natural gardening, and you have the plants, and you have the features, and you have architecture. All of that makes sense to me, and the connectivity that the card powers had. This Red Rising, it made sense to me on a mechanism level, but on a thematic level, I hadn't a clue what was going on, right? Now, maybe that's my fault. Maybe it's because I don't know the IP, but and it didn't turn me off. It just kind of, I went, okay, this is one of those games where I'm going to have to understand all the cards. Like, I have to see the whole picture to understand the big picture.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely one of the things. This is a game that Jen and I have played, and we played it actually quite a bit. One of our big turnoffs for the game was all of the text on the cards, because most of the cards do something completely different.
Yeah.
And just having to sit there and read, what does the card do? What are the cards in my hand? And kind of knowing what one do I want to pretty much deploy, I think was the action.
Yeah, when you put it down.
Which one do I want to pick up? What are the synergies of the cards? That was a big turnoff for us, was all the reading of the text that really slowed down what is essentially a pretty simple mechanism of a game. But the depth came in or I don't even know, depth or complexity came in, just understanding what do the cards do.
The synergy, yeah, the
synergies. And then I apparently, if you kind of know the universe, you kind of know which cards or which colors are going to probably combo together.
I'm kind of getting that feeling like I'm being left out of a good story. Right? It's like I'm playing this, but going, I don't understand what everybody else understands about this. Sorry, right?
I guess the solution would be for us to actually read the story.
Yeah, let's go read the IP. I mean, and I'm all for that. I mean, I love a good story. So if now again, this is Jamie Stegmaier, who's made some pretty good choices, right?
Oh yeah.
So if this is a choice that he's going to pursue because it's a passion project, people always want to make right by their passion projects. So, maybe I need to go and check out the IP, right? So cool. That was, So that's Red Rising.
Which is actually interesting that you talk about that one, because one of the games in my game order that just showed up to my house not too long ago was Fantasy Realms. We've been playing that a little bit. But the game that I want to talk about is Abandon All Artichokes, designed by Emma Markins, who was on the show not that long ago, and published by Game Right. And Abandon All Artichokes is a fantastic card game.
Cool.
I'm
Good.
pretty much calling it Sushi Go Plus.
Yeah.
And the plus meaning that there's just some extra strategy that you need to employ in this game. We've been playing it as a family, Jen, Regan, and I. Now Regan's 6.
Oh, that's right. You're telling me.
And this game boasts, there's lots of text in the cards, and he can't really read yet, like read the comprehension or really read the words of what's going on. But after a couple games, after we were explaining to him that this is what the carrot does, this is what the onion does, this is what the broccoli does, games after that, he's got an association with memory.
The instructional design on me nerded out when you were talking to me about this cognitive relationship that he made with the image and the event. Oh, yeah.
So now he knows that if he picks up the carrot, he knows what the carrot does now without having to read the text, because he's seen it a few times.
And he can think on a different level.
I was talking about one episode when I was talking about the Great Western Trail experiment with him. And he knew what the icons did. Like, he knew that the cow spot was where you bought the cows.
Yeah.
The building icons where you build the building. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to have a lot of fun in the next few years as he develops some of these other skills that he's going to need in order to play games. Now I digress from Abandon All Artichokes, which is a fantastic game. I like it how she plays it as it's a kind of like a deck deconstruction or a deck wrecker.
Yeah.
Essentially, all the players start with a 10-card deck of artichokes that do absolutely nothing. They have no power. They clog up your deck. And essentially, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be kind of drafting cards into your deck that do a whole schwackload of different things. One of the things that most of them do are get rid of these artichoke cards. And essentially, you win is if at the end of your turn, you draw up your hand size. And if you draw up your hand size and there is no artichokes in your hand, you win. So you've abandoned all of your artichokes. And it's really good. Game plays fast. All the vegetables and all these cards do weird and crazy things. Awesome. Like getting rid of artichokes or passing cards around the table, or just putting a card on the top of your deck, putting a card on the top of somebody else's deck. Or I play this card and now it goes to my opponent's pile or something like that.
Yeah.
Really, really quite cool. Really interesting. It's one of those games I always went after I've played it a few times. Like, man, how come I can't think of something like this?
Well,
like, this is just genius.
Well, and I think we're privy to having talked to her in our interview, and we asked her, and she went through the whole development process of coming up with that game, and I was so impressed with the discipline of her design process, where she treated, because in the music industry, I know a lot of writers who treat writing like a job. They wake up, they sit down, and they get whatever they're using and they start to write. And she has her own discipline in that manner. And it makes, now that you've played it and given the report, it makes sense, because we've heard about her process. So the product makes, I can't wait to play it though. You got to bring it to school.
It's so good. Plays fast, plays quick. My 6-year-old son can make the association without having to read the cards.
Has he beat you guys yet? That's the achievement.
No, he hasn't, because even though he knows what they do, he doesn't know how to form strategy. So he picks the one that looks the cutest. But
plays
they
like me. Plays like me. So,
but all the art is cute. Like I made the joke on Twitter, like, look, Abandon All Artichokes. Who wants to get rid of these guys? They're so cute.
Those little eyes, they're just adorable. Yeah.
So, Abandon All Artichokes, Emma Larkin's Game Right. Fantastic. I highly recommend it. It's now in the quiver. Like my card case. It made the quiver. It made the quiver. So now it's going to be permanently there for all road trips. And
it's like starting lineup, man.
That
is starting lineup. All right. Let's move into some news. Do we need to do the beep beep beep?
Beep 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 beep.
The news brought to you by
Garboard.
Conjecture. Wow, we don't make good ad prompts. Okay, so
it's figured out 100 episodes later.
Yeah, it's a thing in process, right?
A couple quick ones.
Yeah,
because we got a big topic today. So one game is that they are coming out with a new Seven Wonders game.
What?
I know, and they are boasting it. So it's called Seven Wonders Architects. It is not an expansion to Seven Wonders, but rather is now a new family weight version of Seven Wonders.
Oh, a rethink.
Which got a lot of people really kind of perked up, because Seven Wonders kind of for a lot of families is already a family game.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have I don't know a lot about it. I just saw that it is there, but
I've recognized right away that it's still being done by Antoine Bauza.
Yep.
So it's not like somebody's wrecking the world that he created.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's out there. You can go to GG and look at it. I'm curious to what a new family weight version of Seven Wonders is going to actually look like. It's still got drafting.
Oh, you know what I just saw here? Sorry for cutting you off, but I just noticed that each player is physically building out of like puzzle tiles, their own monument.
I see that too on mine. So it's like that's.
And there's cards and there's tokens. This could be pretty cool.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I just haven't looked at the gameplay mechanism to it. So Seven Wonders Architects. Another quick one that's coming out that I saw was really interesting is that they have now the 4th version of Azul coming out. What are they calling this one? The Queen's Garden.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be Azul Queen's Gambit, but that erased it right off the bat.
I think there's some licensing on that.
Yeah, so the Queen's Garden, and it looks like we're drafting hex tokens or hex tiles to fill up areas in this case. So I'm assuming it's going to have a lot of that exact same Azul feel of filling up areas to score your points, and you're drafting them from central locations and stuff like that. This one, when I look at the pictures, this one looks like this one could be one of the more complex Azul games. I'm looking at some of the pictures and I have no idea what's going on.
Well, and I've only played the first one, so I'm not the person to weigh in on this, but it looks, I mean, as far as what I remember from the first one, this busier board. This looks like more layers of choices too. Yeah.
So I'm always game. I haven't played the second one. I didn't play the stained glass one, but I did play Summer Pavilion with Dave, Shay, and Mel from Board on the Air, and I really enjoyed that version. The Summer Pavilion version was really, really good. So I'm interested to see what this one has to offer.
Right on.
Queen's Garden, Azul.
I'm really pumped about this last one. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, because I've heard you gush about. Yeah. I've heard you pump up good things about Cascadia.
Yeah.
And now the team that brought you Calico and Cascadia, Flat Out Games, has on Kickstarter. At the time of this recording, for the next 37 days, this is a long Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah.
But Verdant, am I saying that right? Verdant?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so on Kickstarter, and I don't know anything about it other than it's that the team that brought us a couple games that you really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And they've mentioned on Twitter that if you, Norm, enjoy both Calico and Cascadia, that you are most likely going to find those formulas in this game as well. And you're probably going to really enjoy it. It looks like it's like a lot of things to do with plants. Well, planting these plants.
We on Twitter kind of went back and forth. They had we had posted, that Concordia was discussed, and I think I had said in there, their approach reminds me of how Rosenberg took his patchwork kind of proof of concept and went, okay, let's apply this now to all these other kind of ideas or themes with more architecture around it. And when they responded in Twitter, they said, yeah, that's kind of what we're going for here. So the Calico core DNA is such a great abstract game. Then Cascadia adds another, kind of dimensional approach to it with a little bit more a mechanism layering. And that one was even cooler. So and it looks like that same whole kind of market of one element matched with, there's like, it looks like house plants, and then matched with items, and then possibly matched with rooms of a house. So yeah, color me intrigued here. Oh, and I'm also noticing too that there looks like to be a sunrise and a sunset,
right?
2 sets of cards. So yeah,
cool. And the price points got me very intrigued. $29 is getting you this game, which I'm okay with that. I might actually get in on this Kickstarter because that might mean I hope in the pledge manager that I can also add on some Kickstarter versions of Calico and Cascadia, because I think I just need to have them.
I just did something that you usually do.
Did you back it live?
I just clicked back this project.
This is real.
I had to.
This is real-time
me.
junkie behavior here.
No, this is well thought, well researched, calculated decision making, and a little bit of a itchy trigger finger. So, click, click, click.
Go
Yeah.
there. You got
Yay.
another. Probably by the time this episode releases, there's probably only about like 20 some episodes, or sorry, 20 some days.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a lot of days to back
Right
this.
on.
They're using this as a pre-order, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, we just pointed out, excellent track record so far.
Great track record.
This episode of Cardboard Conjecture is proudly sponsored by Dragon's Den Games, located in the Louis VIII Mall on 8th Street in Saskatoon. Swing by Dragon's Den Games and let Darren, Al, and the awesome staff help you out in search for great board games, role-playing games, miniature systems, and all of the related accessories. Be a part of their gaming communities that have scheduled events in their great gaming area. Dragon's Den Games, Louis VIII Mall on 8th Street in Saskatoon. And welcome. This is Cardboard Conjecture. And man, Ryan, I don't know how we got here, but topic is our 100th episode. How do you feel about that?
This is very surreal for me, because I don't know how many people listening to this have actually listened to us from the very beginning, because
You and me, that's it.
Those very first tracks, man, was that raw audio. When we used to set up the microphones in the back of my classroom,
Oh, yeah.
when it was prep time, when we were supposed to be doing prep time, and we just set
Well, we
up,
did it at lunchtime.
and before schools, we did
And
some
before,
before
yeah.
schools too. Or when we had to try to find some noise reduction areas of the school.
Yeah. Because recording with a open area condenser mic in a large classroom doesn't have that,
And
that
like, I had a
hollow mic
classroom,
sound.
and there's a classroom above mine, and they would riffle the desks across the floor. And
Yeah. Yeah, it was like guerrilla filmmaking, man. It was
just grab a couple microphones, plug them into a computer, and just start talking just one day.
well, and it was. I mean, that you know me well enough now. It's like, okay, it's a great idea, but there's just that initiative, and so for me, it was like we just have to start. We just have to start, and then we're gonna make mistakes, and we're gonna suck, and
Yeah. So if you go back and you listen to those and they're all available on Podbean. When you did the big migration from Libsyn to Podbean, you brought everything over. So
Yeah.
you can go on to Podbean and you can find all the way back to the very beginning.
And speaking of very beginning, we're probably going to track back and kind of reflect on some of the games.
That's the topic of today. We're going to reflect back on the years, and we'll address that too. It has taken us years to get to this point. I know now we are a weekly podcast, and we've been recording weekly, producing weekly content for quite some time now, but it hasn't always been that case. And we'll talk about that too.
And I want to also mention, and I mentioned to you before, and I'm going to quickly mention it now, and I won't say too much so that I don't get all crackly in the voice and watery in the eyes. But this was, when we started this, this was at the same time as when Daniel relapsed. And I knew from our first, and when I say relapse, Daniel had leukemia and then was good for about 2 years, and then he relapsed. And and he's good now. So don't everybody, he's in grade 11, everything's good now, right? Long journey, like 8-year journey. But this was the impetus of me knowing that I needed something to keep my brain occupied and respite. I needed some respite from the heavy that was going on in my life. And I knew board games was like cardboard, retreat for me. And then you and I started connecting more on the games, and then we just kind of we started talking about podcasts that we're listening to, and then I think I just kind of went, well,
I think we can do that.
We can do that. I mean, I work in the industry as well as teach, so it's like, it's not a challenge. Content. And I think that's what I said, is we just got to make sure that we have a good idea that we can build on, right? Yeah. So that's from my side. That was my need and reasoning for getting this going. And I mean, I don't know what your perspective was, because I mean, you might have been like, okay, sure, let's go.
I think you nailed it on the head, because I was just like, I think we can do this. How hard is it just to plug a microphone into a computer and just spew out information and your thoughts? And then hopefully somebody out there might like it. And if no one likes it, I don't care. Yeah. If I reached one person, it's like my teaching philosophy. If I reached one person today, I did my job and I can get paid.
Well, and you just provided a good point too, is we're both teachers. So it's not like we're unfamiliar with that whole sage on the stage kind of thing, right? From our point of view, when we talk about something in class, we're researched and we're educated on it. And I think that was our approach too when we came to, talking about certain games, is that we want to, Cardboard Conjecture, that's kind of our tongue in cheek of going, it's like, hey, here's our 2 bits. But from our professional background, our 2 cents worth is pretty.
Well, that's where Cardboard Conjecture deep. Really initially came from, was we would play only a game maybe a couple times, and then we would want to record our thoughts about it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like when they're like, this was our conjecture about it. These are like the initial impressions type thing. And that is still true most part to today.
Well, and
some of our reviews.
And we're going to find out when we go through all these games that it's like, and I think I love the example that I gave you about like all these games in the beginning that we liked and we're like, oh yeah, top shelf game, or, and now it's like, oh man, I haven't played that. And I said, yeah, when Friends came out, I liked the show. I don't watch it anymore. Right. So there might be games that have kind of gotten into that groove where it's like they were cool for the moment, but I've moved on, right? So
before we do that, I think there's somebody wanting to chime in today.
Hey there, Norman Ryan. It's Ian here. I just wanted to say congratulations on 100 episodes. That's a pretty big feat. You have as many episodes as Winnie the Pooh has acres in his forest.
Yay.
I have enough episodes for TV syndication. And if you really want to sound impressive, you can say that you have a century's worth of episodes. So that's pretty awesome. I was pretty thrilled when you guys asked me to be on the show, and it was been a lot of fun co-hosting with you guys. We had a lot of fun talking about all kinds of board game topics, and it was great. And we've done lots of cool stuff, like had some great guest stars, and you guys built that community with the What You've Been Playing Wednesdays, and you've had a whole bunch of other podcasters and YouTubers on the show to join in. You've even started up games on BGA, having some game tournaments. It's really grown. So congratulations. It's been awesome. Yeah, let's see how long you guys can keep it going. And yeah, congratulations once again.
Right on.
Well, thank you, Ian. Again,
right on, Ian. Thank you.
You were a very big part, especially for the past year, on the podcast when the pandemic hit, and we asked Ian to be on as a third chair. Lots of great
teacher. So
teacher. Yeah. Lots of great insights into game.
I took a couple notes.
Yeah,
I took a couple notes from his commentary, and my first one was, did he say that we had big feet? I'm not sure. So, but no, he said it was a very big feat. And I'm like, we got big feet? No, we don't. But yeah, the guests that we had, I'm super proud of the fact. Like I wrote 2 down right away, Rob Davio and Corey Kineska. Like,
yeah,
it was one of those things. Yeah, it was one of those things. It's like, what's the worst they can say? No. So I threw it out there.
Just like you said, Emma Larkins.
Yeah.
Has been on the show. We just mentioned that. I remember I got the interview. You've talked to Shen Fun Lim and Jay Cormier.
Shen and Jay. Yeah.
We talked to Travis Jones when he was releasing Pendulum for Stonemaier Games. We had lots of great guests, and we've also had lots of guests from the community that we have built and the community that is around Canada and other podcasting sites. Like Rob from the Meeple Dungeon has been on a few times. David and Shay from Board on the Air, they've been on a few times for our show. Aaron from Boards Alive was one of our first guests on the show, and Joe Salin, which we have to give a shout out on 100 episodes to Joe. He was kind of like a big influence for you, especially when we first were getting into the podcast scene. He had a podcast, him and, Andrew Dennison, right?
Yep.
And
Trent Ham.
Great podcast. The Good, the Bored, and the Ugly. Always enjoyed what they had to say. That was a big reason for us to getting going. They were on I was on Joe's show once, and he came on and talked to us at one of our Cardboard in the Classroom episodes. Yeah. It was great. Fantastic.
Yeah. Let's bounce back to earlier episodes. I've got the list up here, and I'm going to throw some at you and see what you respond. So our first episode, okay, and we recorded short to begin with. It was just this kind of, okay, let's just get going, and then it'll just grow. Yeah. Guilds of London and Snowdonia.
Still own both of them.
You still what?
I still own both of them.
Yeah, cool.
I can't remember the last time I've played either, though.
I played Snowdonia last year. And because they had that big Kickstarter with all the stuff coming out, and I just got all the expansions, and then I brought it out. It's kind of cool. I like it. Here's the next batch. For me, At the Gates of Loyang. For you, Raiders of the North Sea.
Play Raiders of the North Sea like quite regularly.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic game.
And
Shannon Phillips.
Oh yeah, and the Miko. I love his art. And so for me, At the Gates of Loyang with Uwe Rosenberg, that's a great agriculture game. The next one, episode 4, Lost Expedition for me and Arboretum for you.
Right. Oh, Arboretum is a great game. It's never going anywhere. That one's in the quiver too.
That one's on my shelf. It's
on the starting line. It's in the starting lineup for card games.
And I still play Lost Expedition. It's such a fun solo game too. It's very challenging. So right on. Conjecture number 5. Tobago and Akrotiri.
You say Tobago, I say
Tobago. Let's call the whole thing puzzle.
That was a big thing in that recording, I remember.
I still play Akrotiri. I love that game.
I still play Tobago. It's a fantastic one.
And I still remember the first time I played with you when you taught me in the classroom during a board game club. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a board game club regular for many, many sessions.
Here's the next one. Signore and Pioneer Days. I still play Signore.
Pioneer Days got shipped a long time ago. I should actually go back and listen to that episode because
see what you said about it.
See what I said about it, because I remember playing it. Oh, how long ago? I don't even remember how long ago it was. And we were playing it. I was like, this thing is hot garbage.
I must have been
going on the for sale pile. Remember, we always used to say that we always talked about games in a positive manner.
Yeah.
These were games that were from our own personal collection to everything. I probably gave it high praise during that recording.
Yeah. That's funny.
But no, it's not part of my collection anymore.
Next one. I know we both have these. Dragon Castle and Five Tribes.
Five Tribes is a top 10 game of all time for me.
I still have both of them on the shelf. Awesome games.
Yeah.
Then we run through some top 10s I know my top 10 since 2018 got changed since we did a revamp. And if we did another revamp, I probably have a different top 10. Then we moved.
I'm getting a radio signal here. Somebody else is coming in.
Is there someone knocking at the door?
I think there's somebody coming in knocking at the door here.
Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Shay.
And this is a congratulations to Norm, Ryan, and Ian on their 100th episode.
Yes, we want to say good job on making it this far.
Yes, congratulations on being the second most prolific podcasting site in Saskatoon.
You mean prolific in the sense that they've had slightly less episodes?
Yeah.
Or, okay, yeah, because I was going to say in terms of quality, meh.
Well, they try a little hard. Congratulations, guys.
Good job.
Oh, David and Shay from Board on the Air. Yes, they are a weekly radio show here in Saskatoon that talk about board games. And
I play regularly with Dave and Shay, Jordan, and Mel. I try to get every couple of weeks. I DM them in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. But I think the most important thing to work on here is Dave's pronunciation of whatcha.
Yes, Dave, it's what you've been playing, not
whatcha.
Whatcha. We are not proper people. We don't speak proper English here.
No, whatcha. It's not the King's English.
What you want.
The King's English. Whatcha. That was awesome. Thanks.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, they've maintained their regular weekly on CFCR here in Saskatoon. That's been awesome for them too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's go back to check these lists out here. We moved. Here we go. Camelot and London 2nd edition.
Still have Shadows over Camelot.
I still have.
I still remember that Games Club game. I think it's brought up many times during that recording.
Where I kept asking, how does this game work again?
And in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is odd behavior. This is not typical. Like, he knows this game. He's the traitor. Everybody, and I could not convince anybody to convict you of the traitor because they didn't know you.
Well, and the students are like, Mr. LePage isn't. I'm not a bad guy. I'm a bad guy.
He's a bad.
I'm a bad. London 2nd edition, Martin Wallace. It's like, dink, it's right there. I could point right there. It's somewhere in that area there. So yeah, I totally play that one. Hi. If you like the content we're creating and the podcast episodes we're producing, please leave a happy rating on the podcast platform that you use. This would be such a great gift and would also help others find our podcast when they search for board game podcasts. And if you have the time, check out our new YouTube channel where we have new content every few days. Just search Bridge City Board Gamers on YouTube. Thanks, eh? Let's see. Crystal Clans and Dice Throne.
Yeah, and we have to mention too that
this phase too. Yeah, you go ahead.
This was a small part of the Cardboard Conjecture in the early years when we bounced around the idea of having a third chair, a third person, and so we reached out, or you reached out.
Yeah,
I can't remember the but
I think it was through Joe Sallin too. That kind of like
right.
Yeah,
in the 18XX community. And so you reached out to Luke, and now I can't ever remember his last name.
I'm going to try it. Heidemacher, I believe.
Some very well done.
Thank
it
you.
Was always just Luke.
And I'm sorry, Luke, if I totally said it wrong.
and he brought an interesting perspective to the show for a while because he never was like us, like with the massive amount of games behind us. He had a very, very tight knit, small game collection, but he always went for quality. And he had amazing perspectives.
Yeah.
That
he liked his really heavy, deep stuff.
Yeah. So,
well, I mean,
this is that time.
And also, I want to, give some attention to that Luke and I believe, I can't remember his name from Medicine Hat, but they, before the pandemic, they had a Hattanooga, which was an 18XX con down in Medicine Hat, and like hundreds of 18xx titles that are out of print or hard to come by, or like rares kind of thing. So that was like a big G geek tournament. So yay. Yeah, that was this was the phase when Luke popped on the radar. So, and he did Automobile, which is a Martin Wallace game that I have right there. So
Nice.
And Dice Throne, that was a game, that's that Yahtzee mechanism game. I think I borrowed this one from Jeff, played it a ton, had fun, and I'm intrigued because now they do that versus, right, where they'll have just 2 characters, and you can buy the small box and then collect that set. And I think I might try that out because Sophie's really good at games now. So.
Yep.
But Crystal Clans.
I was very high on Crystal Clans, but I sold it. It's gone.
Because you got all the factions and everything, and we played it a few times. I didn't mind it.
And I you know what? Now that I have all these other dueling card games that don't require a board and don't require to be sat like across the table from somebody, it went. Cool. I got my what I wanted out of it, and yep.
Is there someone knocking at the door, Ryan?
Quite possibly. I hear something.
I think someone's knocking at the door.
I do hear something.
Cardboard Kid here. I just wanted to congratulate you on reaching 100 episodes.
Thanks, kid.
Yay!
That kid and the whole Cardboard family.
Yeah.
They are awesome.
They're awesome.
They're so awesome. I remember our run-in at FallCon before the pandemic hit. FallCon was our last big thing that we actually went to gaming-wise before the pandemic hit. And we ran into the Cardboard family there, said hi, met them and everything like that. If you want like the nicest board gaming people in the community here, you got to talk to the family.
And just a big shout out. I've referred to the Cardboard Kid as CK. Big shout out to CK because my daughter kind of watched some episodes, and even my daughter was like, "Wow, she's impressive how she has all her stuff, written and recorded." And it's like, yeah. So keep doing what you're doing. That's awesome. You're inspiring.
Yeah.
You're inspiring people.
Put lots of our content to shame.
Yeah, and at least her pronunciation on games and designers is a lot better than ours. So looking at the list again,
working through the years.
The Estates, that was one of Luke's.
But I love the Estates.
Yeah, Keyforge and El Grande.
It's funny that I reviewed Keyforge. I think I got really hot into Keyforge there. I think I even bought like booster boxes of decks. Like I have tons of Keyforge decks at the school, and many of them still not even opened because I think I had this big plan of this big Keyforge thing that we were going to do at the school and stuff like that. So I've got lots of decks from the first 2 sets.
Oh, dude.
I think at the school there.
Don't mess with me.
And unfortunate news recently about Keyforge, but
it'll
come back.
The Estates, that's such a cutthroat auction game, and El Grande is the penultimate area majority control game. Right there, I absolutely love that game. Bouncing to.
We started doing topics.
Yeah,
every now and then.
We had a good one, breadth and depth board gaming.
Oh, I remember that conversation. It was a really good one.
Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of definitive of what you just described as our collection and Luke's collection, right? Yes. And then this is the first blip on the radar of Ian when this was about when I think we were in Philadelphia doing a lot of Daniel's pre-bone marrow transplant procedures. At the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
Yes, you were traveling, and I said, "Hey, Ian, do you want to just come on and just talk? We need to fill out an episode here.
Yeah,
just come in.
I need someone to cover me."
He came into our basement, and he reviewed Container
Yeah.
The 10th anniversary edition, and I talked about and gushed over Star Wars Rebellion, because that was a game that Ricky and I both played quite regularly. And then I think that was our first, just because, you were gone to Philadelphia for an extended period of time. We tried to get some recordings in. I remember those. Don't get teary-eyed on me. I'll get teary. At some of those nights when you would just grab the laptop and go into the bathroom.
Yeah.
Of where he was,
his hospital room.
Yeah, and trying to get the recording in.
Yeah.
You get this massive reverb off the wall.
Oh yeah, it's like, don't ever record in a porcelain chamber.
And I just remember the internet connection being so bad.
Oh yeah, well, and it was one of those things where it's like, okay, we got to do it a little later on when the Wi-Fi usage in the hospital was a little lower. And I'm just talking about Daniel, because he was a streaming junkie. But yeah, that's when, that was one of those moments where I had to focus. And so yes, thanks so much for
taking care of the
Ian
family,
jumping in. Yeah.
And we had no problems. We took a bit of a break there.
Well,
it was fine. We weren't huge podcast stars. We are now.
Oh yeah, we're so big now.
Our one listener that's listening to us right now online.
Let's see. Moving on. Luke did John Company, and I did Hogwarts, Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, and you did Coimbra. And I still have Hogwarts Battle.
Actually, we just played Coimbra just the other month, like quite a few weeks ago, but we did just play it. And that's one of the Italian trios games. This was a Vergio.
That's right.
G game. And so good. I really enjoyed that one.
Do you hear something? I hear something.
Oh, I think it's going to get ridiculous in here.
Oh no. It's getting
here for Friday Night Games. I want to give a big congrats to Bridge City Board Gamers on their 100th episode.
Yeah, congratulations. And to celebrate, we're going to give our top 100 games.
No, 1,000.
1,000 games, yeah. So coming in at 1,000, we got Catan the card game.
Nice. And at number 999, Pathfinder the card game.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. I'm glad that Ian, Ryan, and Norm didn't cut out anything.
Man, number one was their favorite board game. It just blew my mind.
Number one was amazing. I'm so glad they kept in all 1,000 games that we listed, and didn't cut it down to like a second or anything.
Yeah, congratulations
on 100 episodes with 1,000 board games that we just listed. So you guys deserve it.
Yes, congrats.
Oh.
Those guys
That's awesome. Hey, and did you like the part at 500 where they promised to pay our plane tickets out to Ontario?
I loved it.
That was awesome. That was my favorite part of their list.
It's already booked under their names. I'm really good at cryptocurrencies and people's MasterCards. And
don't you have like 3 degrees in that kind of stuff? Friday Night Games. Those guys are awesome. Part of one of our foundations, contributors of What You've Been Playing Wednesday. And we did that game, last game standing with them. That was so much fun. I mean, I'm so proud of the community that's going on with the What You've Been Playing.
They were our first guests for the Hype Train.
Oh, that's right.
That we've been doing. And Matt and John, if you don't know who they are, go check them out. Friday Night Games. Their podcast it's so funny. They bring a lot of humor.
Yeah. Good. Some good Canadian boys, eh?
Good Canadian boys, eh?
All right, let's keep moving on. There was an episode that we told Luke, hey, 18XX, have at her. And we did 18XX in 2018, and he brought on Andrew Dennison, and it's slipping from Denver. Used to be part of Heavy Cardboard.
Aaron something.
But yeah, they had a great episode talking about 18xx stuff, and then you and I believe it was this about that pivot point where we went back to 2 seats, and you did Seven Wonders Duel and I did Bonanza, and I still have
Seven Wonders
Bonanza.
Duel still here.
Yeah,
I just talked about it in our last episode. It was one of my favorite 2-player games of all time.
Cool. I did.
We did.
Was that with Targi? Did you talk about Targi? Okay.
Coming up, I can see it on the list here.
Yeah. Episode 23, gaming communities of Dice and Men from our province compatriots, and Chad and Ryan and Adam. There. Yeah. That whole prairie sense of humor is got a very kind of meta level of cynicism and sarcasm. I love it. Or it doesn't.
Good. Their podcast was amazing.
Yeah. They still. I mean, they still do
some content, but it's not on as regular of a basis anymore. But when they do, it's one of those, like the game publishers, when they do release something, it's quality.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Moving on, we have Clash of Rage, or as the French say, Clash of Rage, and Wildlands. And Wildlands still there. I've all the maps and everything. I love that game.
Actually, it's a skirmish game that Regan can even play. We just chuck dice and battle each other, and it's fun.
That's a high school, our board game club favorite, isn't it?
It was, yeah. They played it quite a few times
because of that ease.
Big old dice chucker.
Gotta like the dice chucker. And then we did Whistle Stop and Clank in Space. In Space.
Whistle Stop, still a great game. Still on it.
I still have Clank in Space. Nice. And the next one. This is the first of many connections that we've made with. We did Lord of the Rings: Journeys in Middle Earth, and that's when we invited Rob over. And I had met Rob previously at Terminal City TableCon in Vancouver through Aaron and Quentin Boards Alive, and met that whole, I like to call it the Kelowna cartel. Met all those guys, and just made a cool connection with Rob and Anna Marie, and then invite him on the show, and that's where you met him the first time. So,
yeah, and speaking of,
that's a great segue.
Hello, everybody. This is Rob and Anna Marie from the Meeple Dungeon.
Hello.
And we are just stopping by here on the Cardboard Conjecture podcast, episode 100, to give a big congrats to our friends there, Norm, Ryan, and Ian. And we just wanted to say congratulations,
my prairie pals.
Yeah, on your 100th episode. That's super cool.
You guys are so fantastic.
Yeah, they're really good at what they do. And they've just been the nicest group of guys. And
I want to say thank you so much for thinking of us and including us in your What You've Been Playing Wednesdays podcast.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Oh, it's been so much fun, and we're just so happy to be a part of it, and we thank you guys.
Yeah, and we're hoping that, in the near future, we might be able to game in person with you guys at some point.
Fingers,
at a con,
eyes, toes crossed.
Yeah, maybe Terminal City or Shucks in the future, or maybe we meet you somewhere else. But yeah, we're looking forward to that day whenever that comes. But for now,
what a great bunch of guys.
Yeah.
Good job on 100 episodes.
Yeah. And
fantastic.
For now, though, we will just continue to play cards with Ryan on Wednesday nights over the YouTube or whatever streaming thing Ryan's got going on. But yeah, no, we just wanted to say congrats, and we're excited for the next 100 episodes, and we're going to run. Thanks again, guys. We'll catch you later. Cheers.
See ya.
Rob, what a linguist.
Those guys are awesome. I love those two guys.
Oh, I love them. Yeah. And just ever since that Journeys in Middle Earth, Rob and I really connected over our love of Fantasy Flight games and other things. And then he just mentioned that he loved these card games, and I like card games. And so that's how we started doing our.
It's like Step Brothers, Will Ferrell. You like that? I like that too.
Did we just become best friends? Yup.
Yup. I think we did.
Want to do karate in the garage? Yup.
And no jokes aside, that's kind of what I watched. It was like, okay, this is getting real weird. No, it's awesome. Though, I mean, absolutely everything they said back. I mean, reciprocated.
Absolutely, and we really hope you folks, Robin and Mary, I hope you guys get to 100 episodes. You're well on your way with a really solid podcast, the Meeble Dungeon podcast. They've got 5 episodes of real good quality content, really good discussions between them and everything. So, I'm rooting for you guys.
And they have a spotless record on the What You've Been Playing Wednesday contributions.
Single, how many episodes?
37 and going.
37, and they have not missed one What You've Been Playing Wednesday. They have a better track record than me.
I can't believe I haven't fallen over yet. That's 2 podcasts a week. Give it to me, Red Bull. All right. Okay, let's keep going here. La Granja and Underwater Cities.
We're gonna have to pick this up if you want to go
pick it up. So La Granja, Underwater Cities. Yes and yes.
Yep.
Then we did Tiny Towns and Deep Blue. I still have Tiny Towns.
Oh, Deep Blue got shipped. What was I even thinking with that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What a piece of garbage.
But it was Days of Wonder, right? They're usually.
We were just coming off the high of FallCon.
It was.
I got the junkie vein pumping. Saying,
well, we played it. We played a pre-release or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. These next 2 I know: Euphoria and Wingspan. Got it.
First, I got to mention on Podbean there. What happened to episode 30?
I know there's an episode that disappeared, and I mean, doesn't every podcast have like the unknown
episode?
Yeah, missing episode.
I noticed that. I don't even know what we would have talked about way back when. Maybe this is actually episode 99. Scandalous.
Oh. Or it could be like all the people. Well, no, it's not 2000. It's 2001 already. So.
That's really good. But yeah, Euphoria, Wingspan.
Yeah, got it. We talked about expansions. Then this is about when the pandemic hit.
This is about when we started, and because this is where Ian now has become a regular host.
We talked about expansions. We talked to Board Game Arena, and then I did Nippon. You did Nova Luna, and Ian did Parks.
Yeah, that was Ian's very first. His second review.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you did
container way back.
And I still have Nippon, and I picked up Parks. I haven't played Nova Luna.
I still have Nova Luna on my shelf, but it's a game that ask Dave from Board on the Air what his opinion of Nova Luna. It's so funny.
Okay, I will. Let's get one more in before there's a knock at the door. Teotihuacan, Viva Java, and Horrified. Teotihuacan. Ian did Viva Java. I have the dice game. It's kind of cool. Horrified. Got it. Love it. I've never played the Teotihuacan.
I have it's got so many expansions that have come out since then. And I've got them all, and I've never played with one of the expansions yet.
Okay.
Here's the junkie behavior.
I'm gonna push through a few more because we can do fast. We had
I'm gonna give a shout out because he's not as active on Twitter anymore, but good friend of the show, and I really loved conversations with him. Tom from Tom Teaches Games came on and really razzed me about my pronunciations of certain games.
Teotihuacan. Then we talked about Emma Larkins, and I think you did a review of Cosmic Encounter Duel. And then you did an interview with Travis Jones, designer of Pendulum. And we did reviews. I did Hansa Teutonica. I still got it. Ian did Lowlands, and you did Fabled Fruit.
Don't have it. And I don't have Cosmic Encounter Duel anymore either.
Oh, okay.
These games are just, let's just keep pitching them.
Do we have someone knocking on the email?
I think so.
All right, who's at the email?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Norman Ryan, it's your good buddy Chris Morris here.
Hey,
In
Chris.
honor of your 100th episode, I made this amazing board game themed cake that I wanted to share with you. But then I totally forgot that you're way out in Saskatoon and I'm here in BC. So I guess I'll have to eat it myself. I also have no idea what I'm going to do with all these decorations and beer that I bought to celebrate with you, but I guess I'll find some use for them. Now, in classic Conjecture fashion, I'd hazard to say that you're producing one of the best podcasts out there. And I can say that in all honesty because there's only like 2 or 3 that I listen to regularly, and you're definitely in the top 2 or 3 of those. But in all seriousness, congrats on making it to 100 episodes and all the best in your next 100. I love what you guys are doing with your show and the passion that you put into it. I also cannot wait to get to play games in person with you eventually. Take care. Enjoy the ride. Are we done?
Yep. Absolutely. Thanks, Chris. That's awesome.
Oh,
Man,
thank you, Chris.
I can't wait till we get the opportunity to all the What You've Been Playing Wednesday cast can say, we're meeting here. And then all, oh yeah, that'd be such a fun, it'd be like summer camp. Hey, remember when you said this? Right. Yeah, so much fun. Yeah. And Chris is part of that Kelowna cartel. So maybe we need to go to Kelowna. Who knows?
Perfect.
Just saying, right? Okay, pushing fast through this. In the episode 41, content creators of influence, we talked about Cabal, Blue Peg, Pink Peg, and a lot of the stuff that we soak up.
Yep,
So,
and we actually managed to have Patrick and Rob from Blue Pig Pink Pig have made appearances on our show.
Yeah,
Don from Cabal came on our podcast. Like, that's surreal to me. Like, these people are like celebrities in my mind.
Yeah.
And they wanted to hang out with us and share their thoughts. It was very, very cool and entertaining.
Well, I've always been of the idea where it's like, if you're polite and cordial, the worst they can say is no.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's always that's what I teach my kids: be nice, polite, and courteous. NPC. And speaking of D&D, that's the next. And I didn't even plan this segue. We did reviews. I did the D&D 5e starter kit. This is where you guys did that dino thing, the Dinosaur Island and the Dino
We did our dino back to back.
Yeah. Cool.
Very cool.
Episode 43. This was so much fun. Ian put together the board game before and after game show.
Oh my gosh. And I can't believe I messed up the last one.
Went down to the wire.
I was the first one to spew it. And as soon as I said it, like, that is not it.
Yeah. And then you gave me that window. I'm like, thank you very much. I will finish this for you.
Yes.
Great Western Trail and Maracaibo.
Yeah, that was like
a
very small glimpse in the pandemic where we were able to actually get the game together. We got one game in of Maracaibo together
before the second wave hit,
and then the second wave and stuff like that. And that was a really, really fun, memorable gaming experiences. That was our that was a heartfelt episode. I remember.
Yeah.
You want a good tearjerker? You guys go listen to that one, episode 45.
Yeah, that's a lot of hospital room gaming that got me through a lot of dark spots. Then it was you and I that did. Now, have you ever talked about this game before? Targi, and I did Newton.
I've mentioned Targi yet.
I got both of them.
But if you want the Ryan Rao deep dive of Targi, you go listen to episode 46.
Yeah.
This episode is proudly supported by the amazing team at Breakout Escape and Board Game Lounge right here in Saskatoon. Using industry-leading technology, Breakout Escape's escape rooms are all 100% uniquely designed by the team, ensuring their patrons have maximum fun while staying safe. As well, they are a fully licensed board game lounge with over 400 titles to select from to ensure fun for every gamer, new and experienced. Be sure to check them out at breakoutsask.com. At Breakout Escapes and Game Lounge, they believe that life is more fun when you play games.
I'm pretty sure it went on my bottom shelf. I'm pretty sure.
I'm just noticing I'm a little bit of a hoarder when it comes to the games I've reviewed because I don't think any of them have left yet. And you had mentioned 47. We had the Art of the Review with Patrick Kelly.
That was a crazy episode.
That was fun. That was so much fun. It was just sort of like, it was chaos, planned chaos. 48. Ian reviewed Kingsburg 2nd edition. I did Archaeology, the New Expedition, and you did Tekenu, Obelisk of the Sun. And that's where
things went off the
that's the perfect reason why we didn't do live before.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying anything. We're going to move on because
if you listen to 48, Norm's editing skills were on point.
Oh yeah, there was a complete laughter breakdown and
I was swearing at you guys.
Abruptness of what was going on and why were we reduced to tears. And so I've got a good segue.
We got somebody here that
cool. There's someone at the door
on this situation.
Hey, we are definitely a board game podcast. We have 37 episodes out, and it has felt like we've been doing this show literally forever.
Yes, it does feel that way sometimes, yeah.
And so when I see something like Cardboard Conjecture hitting 100 episodes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Norm, Ryan, and Ian have done 100 episodes. They have not killed each other yet.
No? Oh, good for you guys.
As far as I know, they're still friends.
Yeah.
You and I are barely making it to 37 without.
It's like this is the 30th time we've done this take, by the way.
See, he just keeps ruining it. Anyway, 100 episodes is an amazing achievement.
It is.
I think someday we might make it to 100, but if we do, it's going to require the intervention of many deities. It'll be a great time. I just want to say congratulations, Norm, Ian, Ryan. Unbelievable achievement, 100 episodes. Anything to add, Aaron?
Congratulations, guys, and thank you so much for having us on your podcast. We really enjoy being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Being part of What You've Been Playing Wednesdays has brought us into sort of this connection with the Canadian Board Gaming Society. You should be very proud of what you've accomplished, not only the 100 episodes, but also in creating this Canadian podcast, whatever you want to call it, community. It's all because of your efforts. Thank you so much. Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations. Anything else, Royce?
Not a thing.
Say goodbye, Royce.
Goodbye, Royce.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Well, Aaron and Royce have easily crept into one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. Their humor and energy is very contagious just through a podcast medium.
Infectious. Yeah.
I really hope they get to 100 episodes, and I really hope that they don't kill each other.
Well, yeah, if they do, it'll be very entertaining.
that Tekenu review reminded me of I could literally reach across the screen and kill these two.
And I call them the DAP, DABP, because when I do all the edits, I've got a lot of kind of abbreviated stuff. I'm so proud of that community that we started to, that we planted the seeds. I mean, like I said, we planted the seeds, but it's grown to be what it is because of all the people that are part of it, right? I mean, that whole mosaic thing, right? So yeah, I love every person who's participating in this because of the dimension they bring to this and the community. I mean, we're both teachers. We know about community building and we know how important it is, and we know how good somebody feels when they know that they're a part of something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's awesome.
It's been good. You know what? It's tugging at the heartstrings a little bit, but I'm really glad that one Christmas break, that last Christmas break, when we were throwing around the ideas, and I said, Norm, I sent out the invite.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, the invite to what?
Well,
remember that idea we had about these content creators coming together and doing the What You've Been Playing? You're like, yeah. I'm like, I sent it out, and all these guys are already on board for it. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. my Big Shiny Tunes idea. It was just one of those like stream of consciousness. We should do a big, like, get every like a K-Tel record, and every week we should, right? Kind of like what did they have? The Punchboard Media guys.
It was the What Have You Been Playing This Week podcast.
Yeah, and I thought
Patrick and Eric.
Yeah, and that had flipped and had gone, had stopped producing.
They still had their brand. Yeah, they still had their brand, but they really didn't have the show.
Yeah, so I thought, hey, let's. I mean, like I said, hey, we could do this. So yeah,
CBC version.
Yeah. So I thought we need our own K-Tel, Big Shiny Tunes, and yeah, you held me to the. I like that. Oh, I went and invited them already. Okay, I guess we're starting next week. Okay, all right. And that's how it started. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I know how many weeks in the year have passed because it started on the very first Wednesday of 2021.
Yeah.
And now 37 Wednesdays later,
we're
still going
strong. And I think we have, in the teens, I think we have like 14 in our community now. Let's bounce back to the list here because we can burn through some. 4950, we did kind of a theme here where we did our top 50 lists.
Yeah, that was great. That was great fun.
Those were so much fun. And Board on the Air came for an episode of To Bling or Not to Bling.
I love that episode with
That
David.
was fun.
That was a great one. And then Rob came back, talked about Marvel Champions.
Second appearance.
We're still talking about it to this day. It's a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. 53 was, you know what? I thought that one was fun, where we basically rethemed board games to our favorite IP titles.
We gave publishers a great list of ideas.
There's so much.
I'm still waiting for my X-Files themed unlock game. Saying.
Let's just start our own publishing company. We moved on to reviews of Ghost Stories, The Quest for El Dorado, and Pulsar 2849. And I have Ghost Stories.
Still got Pulsar 2849. It's great.
Ghost Stories, one of the hardest. Ghost Stories, hard game. Then we did a holiday board game gift guide.
First time we ever tried one of those. It went really well.
It was fun. Then we did games we want to play. Oh yeah, this was games we want to play from each other's collection.
This was heart of pandemic mode now.
Yeah.
We're really scrapping for ideas.
And this is kind of before everybody just, resigned to the fact that it's like, okay, I got to figure out how to game during the pandemic, right?
Yep.
And we're still kind of, oh no, I don't want to completely commit to solo games.
Yep.
I like the underrated and undervalued games. That was pretty cool.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
Favorite artists.
Yeah.
That was a great talk.
And this was reviews of Pandemic, Fall of Rome, during the pandemic. And then Lost Ruins of Arnak and Vegas Showdown. I have Lost Ruins.
I'm still gushing over Arnak, and it's got an expansion coming out. I haven't even played the solo mode on their website. They have the website solo stuff for that game, which is I'm hearing is
I did see that on Twitter. That's right. Cool.
Yeah.
And then we did another themed Victory Conditions show episode, which is very cool. Board Game Memories of 2020, because we were going, all right, this pandemic's sticking around, so let's reminisce on what we miss about board games. And then we said that's when we started What You've Been Playing on Wednesday. Do we have a knock at the door?
I believe so. Let's see who it is.
Who is it? What up, gamers? I'm Jason.
I'm Julie.
And this is Cardboard Conjecture's 100th episode. Congratulations, guys. It's been a lot of fun doing What You've Been Playing Wednesdays with you. Thank you very much for having us on your show.
And as usual, Jason said it all. So from Dice and Dragons.
Well, you can say congratulations too.
I was going to say from Dice and Dragons, congratulations.
And keep playing games.
Oh, yep. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Jason, Julie, you two are fantastic.
Yeah.
Jason always takes the words right out of her mouth.
Well, and I was just about to say that, so that's interesting. So, what I'm digging so much, as he mentioned it in his tracks, there is the community that's been created, the What You've Been Playing Wednesday community. Because now, don't you and Rob go do some stuff with Jason, don't you?
Yeah, because we're all Kickstarter addicts. And we have our own little therapy session every now and then on Jason and Julie's Dice and Dragons YouTube channel. We call it Kickstarter Excess or Chaos. And it all started with, we just wanted to talk about Kickstarter projects that seem way too over the top, the things that I'm all about.
No.
And then, it's been a really fun show. It doesn't come out regularly, just whenever a project pops up every now and then. We talk about it, put it out there on the interwebs.
Cool.
It's been a lot of fun.
Right on. Well, thanks to those Dice and Dragons. Got to check them out.
Absolutely. Go check them out.
And so, by the way, thank you so much for everybody who took the
time and effort to submit some of those. Those are great.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Let's move on. This chamois. I remember seeing Shem Phillips make a post. This was like January, about all the award stuff, and he went, I want games that have this, and I thought his categories were brilliant, so I said, let's do the chamois. So that was a fun episode.
And David and Shay were on that one again.
That's true.
It's so easy when somebody lives in the same city as you. You can actually coordinate some of these times.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at the clock and looking at the list. We can push through this pretty good. Rococo Deluxe Edition. That's when your Kickstarter. That's when your Kickstarters all started coming in.
That wasn't a Kickstarter. That's not a Kickstarter game.
Rococo?
No, it wasn't.
It was. Oh, really?
No,
okay. I'm so sorry. But you know what? Unmatched Battle of Legends Volume 1.
You keep talking about that. Yes.
We got to play that. You got to play some of that. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think we had February Legacy Month because we had our
right. I
the beginning of our designer's idea. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Yeah. You guys talked to Rob Davio, did an interview with that. Then we talked about our favorite campaign games. We did a very spoiler-filled reviews of Pandemic Legacy Seasons 1 and 2. And then we topped it off. We even brought in some friends of my gaming group.
Mm-hmm.
We brought in Brett and Matt and friend of the show, Lane, and talk about our favorite legacy games. That was a great month. That was a great run of, what was that, about 4 or 5 episodes.
Thematically connected. Yeah.
It was really, really fun.
We got the next ups are like Bonfire, not Bonfire, Trois Dice and Innovation. And I have Innovation still. I have Trois. I've never played Bonfire yet.
I still got Bonfire. I'm holding on to it because apparently there's an expansion coming out that's supposed to, from what I've read, fixes some of the issues that I had with that game.
Oh,
so I'm going to hold on to it. Just
okay.
for a little bit.
Okay. And then we popped. We're trying to think. Okay,
first one.
Yeah. The next part was something that popped into my head in regards to being able to have some content connectivity, and it was the Mechanics series. And Ian started that one off with worker placement. So
yeah, that was a fantastic. It's been a great series just to explore the different mechanisms that are in games and some of our favorite games that fit those mechanisms. And then this was my favorite out of all of the Cardboard Conjecture episodes.
2 guests.
71 was my favorite one of all because we went full fanboy mode. We had Dawn from the Secret Cabal and Rob from Blue Peg, Pink Peg, and to talk teaching methods and learning styles in board games. That was one of the best conversations we've had in a long time.
That was so much fun. It was deliberate and insane at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Then we bounced back to some mechanics. We did the drafting mechanism. Was that you? I think
maybe.
I can't even remember. Then we bounced out to do some Ticket to Ride and Voyages of Marco Polo reviews. And
I just went on there saying I like Marco Polo 2 better than the Voyages of Marco Polo now.
No, I saw that.
So, yeah.
Crazy.
A couple more. We talked auction games, trading games.
Yep, on the
variable
mechanism.
Player powers. We had 3 in a row with the mechanics series there.
Yep.
And then our very first review copy.
Sent to us, yeah.
Sent to us on episode 77. 77 episodes. We finally got a review copy from somebody.
Awesome.
And we talked about Isle of Cats.
And that is a game that I'm still thinking about, which says something. Like, I mean, it wasn't a bought copy, but it's prompting me to pay attention to that game a little bit more. It's kind of cool. I did the mechanic series Area Control Mechanism, which was like area influence and area majority, because a lot of people say, well, it's a suite of ideas. And then we started the hype train.
Oh my gosh. And then the influence for the hype train was that old Joe Salin and
the Longview
podcast.
Yeah.
Where somebody brings up a game that hasn't been talked about for a while. And yeah, you talk about it. So let's bring back the Canadian version of that too.
Yeah, let's do some the CP Rail version.
Yep, and Friday Night Games was on that. They were our first ones, and then we've done a few more since then. We had the Meeple Dungeon on.
Mm-hmm.
We had Chris Morris on. We've got a couple more already in the works for some other What You've Been Playing Wednesday folks are going to come join us on for the hype train, so stay tuned.
Cool. We did designer talk with Dan and Connie Kazmaier of designers of Chai and Steeped Games. Then we went into some set collecting mechanisms. And then we did some Viva Las Euro, where we celebrated some Euro loving games. And then the next hype train, as you said.
Right, yeah. And then we had an interview with Jay Cormier. That was a lot of fun. He has a lot of energy.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
Very contagious. Another hype train with Chris, like I said. We deep dived Merv, Heart of the Silk Road. That was when we made it to the finals of Friday Night Games, Last Game Standing.
Absolutely.
And I'm still bitter because they said that Merv is a complex game, and I disagree, but whatevs. Whatevs. An original game couldn't win.
We did Best Bang for Your Buck board games, which was part of our
listener
topics that we gave away some sponsored prizes for.
Mm-hmm.
Multi-use card mechanisms, and then you're a fan. You say this one because you're the Fantasy Flight junkie.
Yeah, we managed to bring on Corey Kaniska from Fantasy Flight Games, and now his new Unexpected Games game studio. That was a lot of fun. That great. All the conversations we've had have been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the rest of the episodes are the ones that just have come out in the past weeks or so, past 10 weeks.
Yeah. The follow up with like thematic game genre.
Rocket Man, Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Storage Solutions. The Storage Solutions episode.
I
still got thoughts and you guys didn't let me finish.
Yeah. And then this was the point where Ian stepped down, Ian's good friends with you, but what I've seen from Ian is he has a passion for board games, but his greater passion is film and movies. And I've since started listening to the podcast that he started about cinema, and it's awesome. Awesome.
It was Cinema in Seconds.
Yeah.
It's called the podcast. So definitely look. They have a whole bunch of wacky trivia about a whole bunch of different topics. They 90s movies to action movies to potential award winners and
their shtick is like the Cinema in Seconds, where they don't take, let's talk about the whole film. No, they talked about a segment in the film, like one of those little Hallmark moments or those little, vintage prestige moments in a film, like the Han Solo, as he's going down and, she says, "I love you." And his response, "I know." Right. I mean, it's just like, those are the moments that you celebrate in those classic movies. So I'm so glad that he's continuing expressing himself creatively. So yay!
And he'll be back.
And he'll be
now and then.
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
So yeah, we did
another game show. I'm trying to get in talks with him that we'll do another game show.
Yeah. Then we did another listener suggested topic, the 5 game collection. That was Jeff's, I believe.
Yeah, Jeff McNary.
Yeah, that was a hard one. That was.
Don't make me ever do that again.
No, that was like mental triage. This one, 96. As a Canadian, this was so hard to say not positive things about things because we did the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That was not hard. Those were but ugly. That was not hard to do at all.
Oh,
I just might not have a soul.
I still feel guilty a little bit. I still feel bad. So sorry if I hurt some feelings.
Got no alibi. You ugly. You ugly.
And then entry level board games. And then a review of Ashes, Reborn, and Pavlov's House. And you know what? I'm so fired up because the Pavlov's House, you know, when we do the tweets and then we tag the designers and everything, Dave Thornton went and listened to it and responded back and said that was a great review. And, it's like, yay! Somebody went and listened to it on purpose.
Confirmation. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Norm, where do we go from here?
We keep doing it.
Just keep going.
Just keep doing it until we get bored. And then when we're bored, then we'll just have a coffee and then we'll keep doing it.
Oh,
because I don't think I'm going to get bored of board games, and I don't think I'm ever going to get bored of talking about it. And I'm never going to get bored of being like a tech geek.
Yeah. Yeah, so, especially this last little bit, I've gotten really busy and being featured and doing lots of other different shows. Like I'm doing the Wednesday night streams.
Yeah,
Rob. It's fantastic. And also Rob and then Jason from Dice and Dragons, another contributor to What You've Been Playing Wednesdays. We're doing that YouTube series where we're talking about Kickstarter projects.
Yeah, you're being a great ambassador.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting burnt out. I'm going to have to say no to something.
You won't.
No, I won't, because that Kickstarter show, we don't do that like on a regular basis.
No, but yeah. But when you guys do it, it's you come back and it's like, okay, we all said we're not going to back it, but then we ended up backing it. Like it's a therapy group, isn't it?
No. There's only been one episode where all 3 of us have actually backed it. Have backed backed the thing. There's only been one
out of 3.
No. How many have we had?
3 or 4.
No, I think we've had like 6. This is
okay.
One.
Yeah, you're just trying to make those statistical representations not seem severe. Okay.
Yeah.
100, man. I'm so thank you for
that was a good journey.
Yeah, thank you for agreeing to because like you said, I just walked in your classroom and went, all right, let's start talking.
I'd be like, okay, what are we talking about?
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm this is
come a long way from those classroom desks shuffling above us, trying to cover the microphone so that it doesn't pick it up.
Yeah, I think the pandemic has assisted us in fine-tuning the process of putting this together. So
and folks don't know that I think Norm has to be one of the hardest working podcast people out there for producing 2 shows a week. 2 shows a week for the last 37 weeks.
Lots of coffee. Lots of coffee.
Oh gosh, I remember one tweet one morning. Okay, this is behind.
Send me Starbucks credit. You know, that's all.
This is the last story before we sign off.
Okay.
I just remember the one tweet or the one message you sent one morning where you said you literally passed out at your keyboard one night doing the What You've Been Playing Wednesday, woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and hadn't produced the show yet, hadn't went out there.
Because a few of them were like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm going to get late. And I mean, like a teacher's like, okay, yeah, that's all right. I'll push it. And I think I ended up started working on it at 11. And each episode usually takes me about an hour and 10 minutes, start to finish kind of thing. And I got 3/4 of the way through, and it was like university. I just face planted into my keyboard. And of course, it was like K, F, 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 P, 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 P.
But thank you for all the behind things that you've done for the past 100 episodes of Cardboard Conjecture and 37 episodes of What You've Been Playing.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, it's been and also getting me into Techlandia.
Well, yeah, when you started sending me pictures of, okay, I got a new camera, I got a new when you got your lapel mic, that's what I texted you, went,
one of us.
I've been waiting for you. Yeah. Nice. Fantastic. And you know what? We just have so much more to explore because we're starting to like fiddle around with YouTube as we're doing right now. And the one thing I told my wife Mel is she's like, "Oh, you're getting ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's just looking at me because I'm shaving. And she's like, "What are you?" I'm like, "We're live streaming. I have to shave now."
5 o'clock shadows.
So thanks, Ryan. You're making me have to like look, presentable.
Watch the last episode of Kickstarter Excesses or Chaos. I had like full beard mode going almost.
Yeah. No, this is a good reason to keep it clean. Keep it clean. Any last remarks? I mean, we're running long, but this is 100. We can run long.
Yeah. No, just cheers to another 100, hopefully.
And if there's more than one person listening, I'm always going to say thank you because, as hopefully you figured it out that we do this because we like doing it.
Yeah, we're not here for the fame.
Yeah.
I don't think I've signed any autographs yet.
No. Just in my mind.
But
well, that being said, I'm happy even at 100 to be your host, Norm.
And I've been ahead. I lost it.
After 100 episodes, he tanks it.
Ahead by a century.
Oh.
There we go. Tragically hip. I'm Ryan.
Tragically Meeple. See you later.
Meeple.
Take care. This has been an episode of Cardboard Conjecture, and we are Bridge City Board Gamers. And you can find us on Facebook at Bridge City Board Gamers Saskatoon. You can find us on YouTube, Bridge City Board Gamers. We are also on Twitter at BC Board Gamers. And of course, Board Game Geek Guild number 3039.